Hello everyone, welcome to A Foreigner's Life in the Philippines. I'm always fascinated by plants, flower arrangements. Looks like they made this into a rock garden. All the blooms are blooming, the sun is shining. Tonight the moon is mooning. Oh no, what did I just say? Anyway, here's the leftovers from the house. Here's the front door. This is the outside. Bad little door. I ducked just a little bit to get into it. Got a bunch of paint on it on the inside. Looks pretty good. All we need is a proper threshold on the bottom. And I put door trim on it. Some of these wall panels weren't up there. Did the wall panels, painted the ceilings. Put the door trim on it. And I had this door where if you open it right here, it would stay there, but something happened. It just falls shut. And then Terrence tells me that he doesn't like it, he's going to replace it, so I quit, just left it. But areas like up in here wasn't done. Big old cracks in there. Replaced the plywood or ceiling board, wall board. Or gave it a good caulk job and a nice paint job. Terrence will do this. You can see by the water stain down there that the window was leaking. So today I went outside, took the outside all apart, filled in the gaps that weren't caulked, and the caulk that was coming loose, I replaced it, scraped it off and replaced it. The same way over here, you used to have this electric panel box right here. So I replaced this wall board and the one on top. And bits and pieces of the ceiling here. Can't see it anymore, it's painted shut. And Terrence's request, I went through caulked areas like that. This whole desk. And sanded it. Replaced a piece of wood here. Finished the wallboard there. And then a lot of areas that weren't finished. Like this. Sanded them off. Scraped them with the putty knife first. Sanded them and gave it another coat of paint. He's really going to have something. For instance, just look at this table. He did this today. Unbelievable. Look at that. Nice design. Good solid paint job. If I'd be him, I'd dump a bunch of sanding sealer on there and let it dry and sand it a time or two and maybe give it another coat. And then you can spill water on it and doesn't have to worry about coffee stains, tea stains. All kinds of food, any kind of food stain, especially ketchup and stuff like that. Turn the lights on in here. He's just did a heck of a nice job painting and dressing this thing up. Of course, that wall was a mess. Never got finished. So I had to remove some wall panels and replace some boards, studding, better known as backing. Put it back in there and gave it 2 coats of skim coat, sanded it, painted it. Looks good now. It's not totally perfect, but Terrence was telling me he's going to put a window in that area and that area. So time he gets done, he'll cut all the bad spots out. ended up removing that window trim because by the time I got done, some of the wall panel had peeled. It's the wall panels, you put paint on it, it's doing it right there again. See how the glue separates the panels? It's got enough paint on it, it'll be okay. Nothing else. Terrence can put a little shelf there and put a cookie jar there or something. Just joking. And areas like this up here, it was open, so I bent some aluminum, glued it up there, painted it. And this guy here was never finished, so I filled that in, cut a small piece, put it in there. Cut this off because it was out here, kind of in the way. Down here you can see where I took away the cracks. I screwed it up tight, put a bunch of screws in it, then filled it up with skim coat. And what the skim coat didn't want to cover, I covered with caulking and tooled it off. Wiped it with a damp cloth and painted it. Looks pretty good now. Blends in there really nice. And of course, when we first walked in here, the ceiling, you could see the metal roof and all the framing